Why would a global star like Jungkook dare to make a personal visit to a military base without the standard security escort from his agency? What happened that made HYBE founder Bang Si-hyuk feel the need to publicly clarify what is considered a high-risk and highly unusual action? This question not only shook the South Korean entertainment industry but also sparked a major controversy among the global army community. In a rare public statement, Bang Si-hyuk finally spoke out amid the heated issues surrounding Jungkook's unexpected visit to Jimin's military post. The visit became a major spotlight event as it was done without official escort, without media coordination, and without involvement from the management staff, a move that is highly irregular for a star of Jungkook's caliber, whose security is usually handled with extreme protocol. We were aware that the visit occurred under less than ideal conditions, Bang Si-hyuk said in a limited interview with one of Korea's leading media outlets. But I believe the action stemmed from emotional sensitivity, not merely a breach of protocol. Jungkook acted as a human being, not a product of the industry. This statement by Bang Si-hyuk immediately triggered various interpretations. On one hand, the public views it as justifying Jungkook's actions, framing them in empathy and humanity. But on the other hand, bigger questions arise. Has the agency really lost control over its artists? And is HYBE, Korea's largest agency, beginning to falter in its internal supervision of BTS members during their military service? This incident stems from an emotional reunion that occurred a few days ago when Jungkook was reported to have suddenly visited Jimin's military base. There was no official documentation, no press release from the agency, and no presence of HYBE's usual security team that typically accompanies BTS members' movements. The visit was dubbed one of the most unusual moments in BTS's career history, known for being highly structured and controlled. According to several internal sources, Jungkook's decision to make the personal visit was triggered after he received information from inner circles about Jimin's increasingly concerning emotional state. Jimin, known as a sensitive and empathetic figure, was reportedly under heavy stress due to a combination of military pressure and longing for the dynamic within BTS, which had paused. Although no medical confirmation was released, many speculate that Jimin is going through a psychological crisis that is not being properly addressed. Bang Si-hyuk did not deny that the agency was momentarily confused upon learning that Jungkook had moved independently without protocol clearance. However, he emphasized that Jungkook's action aligned with the values instilled in HYBE artists, caring for fellow members and being brave enough to act according to conscience. This is not about who's at fault or who broke the rules, Bang Si-hyuk stated. This is about how we, as humans, face unpredictable situations not always with manuals, but with our conscience. However, this statement raised new concerns among entertainment industry observers. Has HYBE given too much autonomy to its artists? Does an agency of such scale lack an adequate internal monitoring system to the point where an artist can go off track without being noticed? In a separate report, several celebrity security analysts in Seoul stated that Jungkook's action could be categorized as a high-profile breach of security protocol. The risk wasn't only for himself but also for Jimin, who is within a military environment governed by strict rules. If anything had happened, whether in terms of safety, military discipline violations, or information leaks, Jungkook wouldn't be the only one responsible. The agency and the military institution overseeing the location would also be held accountable, and an online discussion held by the international army community. A moderator said, Jungkook's step is a reminder that they are not just superstars but also human beings. And in a highly controlled world, sometimes humane acts are more meaningful than all the protocols created by systems. Bang Si-hyuk himself concluded his statement by implying that the agency would review its artist management system, especially during sensitive periods like military service. He admitted that overly strict control can lead to insensitivity toward the artist's emotional needs. However, he also reminded that any off-track actions must still be evaluated seriously. We will conduct a thorough evaluation, including on security systems, mental well-being, and communication between members and management. What Jungkook did could be an important turning point for the entire industry in treating artists not only as assets but also as human beings. He concluded, "This statement by Bang Si-hyuk is considered one of the most crucial moments in the evolving relationship between K-pop agencies and their artists. It opens up a broader discourse on the importance of balance between professionalism and humanity, between rules and empathy." Now, all eyes are on HYBE's and the military authorities' next steps. Will there be sanctions? Will Jimin receive further medical attention? And will Jungkook's visit trigger reforms in how agencies support their artists during military service? One thing is certain, with Bang Si-hyuk's open statement, the public no longer sees this incident as a mere personal visit. It has become a symbol of emotional complexity, industry pressure, and human struggle that has long been hidden behind the glamour of the K-pop world. And for many fans, Jungkook's act was not a violation, it was courage in showing up when a friend was in need, even if the system demanded him to stay silent. However, at this point, a fundamental question arises that cannot be ignored. Is this entire series of events truly real? Or is it merely a narrative deliberately constructed for the sake of public and media attention? When Jungkook was reported to have visited Jimin without official security and Bang Si-hyuk gave an unusually open response, the public reacted swiftly. Emotions surged, sympathy poured in, but behind all of that, is there a possible effort to divert issues or a strategic image-building campaign underway? Is this purely a humanitarian act from a friend towards his fellow member currently undergoing military service? Or are there strategic hands shaping public opinion systematically? Is it possible that this is part of a narrative campaign to maintain public attention on BTS during the group's hiatus due to mandatory military service? We must emphasize that most of the information in this article is sourced from open platforms such as TikTok, Twitter X, YouTube, and various international Army community forums. Some of it even comes from short video clips, unverified testimonies, and personal opinions from fans. In other words, the validity of this information still needs to be further reviewed critically and objectively, so the question now is, do you, as a reader and digital information consumer, truly believe that this event actually occurred as reported? Was Jimin's crying in Jungkook's arms an emotionally documented moment, or merely a narrative fragment shaped by social media algorithms and fandom dynamics? Being skeptical is not a sign of apathy, but a form of digital literacy intelligence. In this age of information overload, not everything that goes viral reflects the truth. In fact, the more viral an issue becomes, the greater the possibility of narrative manipulation embedded within it. We invite you to reflect on your role as part of the global digital public. Are you critical enough in filtering information? Are you able to distinguish between factual documentation and media dramatization? And most importantly, who truly benefits from the spread of these narratives, the idols, the agency, the fans, or the media itself? Let us use this moment not only as emotional discussion material, but also as an exercise in critical thinking when facing every piece of information circulating in digital media. Thank you for your attention, and remain a smart and vigilant reader.